You have the right to remain silent and not say anything at all. Anything you do say will be used as evidence against you. If you choose to remain silent, that's perfectly fine. I enter a not guilty plea on your behalf. You have the right to have an attorney present to advise you prior to or during any interviews with police or prosecutors. You can end an interview with police or prosecutors at any time. If you're not a United States citizen, you have the right to have your country of origin notified that you're in custody. Either I can do that for you or you can ask the jail to do that. So as I said, you have the right to plead not guilty. If you choose to plead not guilty, you're in jail. So you have to bond out. All a bond is it's a guarantee that you'll appear at another court date. So regardless of what kind of bond I set, it is your promise to appear. And on the face of the bond that you sign when you're leaving the jail, it tells you the date and time to come to my courthouse. Don't miss that bond hearing. When you come to my courthouse, don't go back out to the jail on the date and time of the bond. I give you all sorts of information about how to have a trial, what it means to have a trial. I give you extra time to hire a consultant attorney. And most importantly, you receive your next court date. Don't miss that bond hearing. People who miss the bond hearing, what happens is I forfeit the bond, meaning that you owe the city of Amarillo the amount on that bond. And so that you owe that money. Plus, I issue a warrant for your arrest, so the total is higher. You have another arrest warrant for the very thing that you're in jail on today. And you've missed your chance to find out about what it means to have a trial. So don't miss that bond hearing. Your other choice is to plead guilty or no contest. When you plead guilty or no contest, what you're telling me and what you're saying legally is that you don't want a trial, you don't want to hire an attorney. You plead guilty or no contest. I assess the fine and the fine range at the court cost for a total, and I take away or I credit you for time you've served in jail. When you have a balance, I think all but one of you would have a balance. You've still got to come see me on the first business day after you get out of jail. So if you get out of jail today, you've got to come see me tomorrow at 2 in the afternoon. Don't miss that jail hearing for the same reason that you wouldn't miss your bond hearing, because I issue a warrant if you fail to appear to talk to me about how to pay that balance. Bring proof of income, proof of expenses, so that we could even talk about community services if that's what you're asking for. Just don't miss that hearing, because I issue capias warrants. If you have a capias, then you put yourself at jeopardy having to sit the remaining fines and court costs out in jail. One last thing, traffic tickets, hurt driving records can result in driver's license suspensions. If you're concerned about that, ask. Some of these are traffic tickets that hurt your driving record. So as I call your name, please come forward. Mr. Bitchard. The charge you have in my court is from December 24th. It's called drug paraphernalia possession, specifically of a pipe. That fine range is $100 to $500. Court costs are $81. One additional consideration you need to think about before you enter a plea is that if you plead guilty or no contest to this low-level Class C misdemeanor, because it's associated with the higher charges that took you to Potter County to begin with, it can be used against you if you have a trial on those higher charges. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so to the charge of drug paraphernalia possession from December 24th, do you want to plead not guilty because you want to hire an attorney, have a trial, or maybe even just give yourself some more time to try to resolve those higher charges before you decide what to do on this one?
No, plead guilty.
Okay, on your guilty plea, fine and court cost is $531. Now, because you've been in jail quite some time, your time served. So one other thing you need to think about is this judgment that I've just entered becomes final in 10 days. That is January the 19th. What day is June? That's Friday, not this Friday, but next Friday. If after you get out of jail, you think about it and you think, gosh, I really messed up. I should have not pled guilty or no contest. I should have a trial on that. You've got until January 19th to come and see me at my courthouse to talk about filing a motion for a new trial. It's not hard to do, but you come see me Monday. Well, we'll be closed this Monday. You come see me any day but next Monday, Monday through Friday, because we'll be closed for Martin Luther King Day. And you just come in at 11 or 2 and have a conversation with whatever judge is sitting that day, because all motions for new trial are granted if you entered a plea while in jail. You have any questions?
No, ma'am.
So you don't have to come see me when you get out. Your time's served. The only reason you should come see me is if you change your mind and think that you better have a trial on that, okay? Okay, you can return to your pod. Jose Canelas, how do you say your name?
Canelas?
Canelas?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you live in Dumas?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the charge you have pending in my court is called unlawfully removing trash from the city dumpster. The fine range is $500 from August 26, 2023. Do you want to plead not guilty because you want to hire an attorney or have a trial?
I plead guilty. I was standing next to the dumpster.
Okay, on your guilty plea, fine and court cost is $369. I'm going to give you 1 day jail credit. That's worth $150. $150 jail credit. You owe $219. Let me be sure that's right. You owe $219. Okay, so I looked at why you came into custody and you were cold, right?
Mhm.
And you were freezing. You know, we have warming stations in the city. Are you homeless?
Not really, but I just don't got an ID to get into those places.
They make you have an ID to go into a warming station?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you sure?
Mhm.
Oh, well, you gave a Dumas address. Why aren't you in Dumas?
Because me and my mom don't get along like that.
So you're not going to get the mail that we send you in Dumas?
My mom will bring it to me.
She does bring you.
Mhm.
So you owe $219. Are you wanting to come and see me tomorrow about asking for community service, or do you want to sit it out?
Want to set it up.
Okay, so he's going to come and bring you what's called a voluntary remand. That means you don't want to come see me. You don't want to talk about community service. You just want to sit it out.
Yes,
219, it's going to be another day and a half. So I've already given you today. You won't get out tomorrow. You might get out Thursday. Okay? Are you okay with that?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you realize the real cold day is going to be next Monday, right? You need to figure out, if you're homeless, a way to get into that warming station so that you're not so cold. Next Monday is going to be worse than yesterday.
It's
Okay.
I got my coveralls.
Okay, he's going to give you that form to sign. Do you have any questions for me?
No, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Oscar Flores.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Flores, do you remember getting stopped over on Georgia Street on August 23rd, 2023 by a motorcycle officer?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Okay, I'll go through each and one of those charges from that day. The first is driving while your license is invalid. That fine range is $100 to $500. Court costs are $131. Do you want to plead not guilty because you want to hire an attorney or have a trial?
Yes, ma'am, I do, because he said that I was on the phone whenever he had pulled me over and I didn't have a phone at the time.
Well, he didn't give you a ticket for that. He gave you a ticket for an unrestrained child safety seat violation, no insurance, and driving while license is invalid.
Ma'am, the reason why my license is invalid is because I just had recently got out of prison and I didn't have the insurance on the car to go take the test, because you have to have it insured.
So you
And,
want to have a trial on these?
no, I think it's too much of a hassle, really. I
I mean,
mean,
so your choice today is to plead not guilty. Come see me on the date and time of your bonds to set it for a trial.
okay,
Or you may choose to plead guilty or no contest, and you'll still have a balance. No matter what, you have to come and see me.
yes, ma'am, I'll plead guilty, that's fine.
Okay, so to driving while your license is invalid on your guilty plea, fine and court cost is $469. I'm gonna give you $450 jail credit. You still owe $19 on that one. The second charge is no insurance. Second, you already said you didn't have insurance. That fine range is higher. It's $350 to $1,000. How do you plead?
Guilty.
On your guilty plea, fine and court cost is $733 with $450 jail credit. Sir, are you working?
Yes, well, I had gotten laid off until the third week of, I want to say next week or the week after.
Okay, so you won't have any trouble coming to see me tomorrow, right?
No, ma'am.
Okay, the unrestrained child safety seat that allegedly that somebody wasn't buckled, that fine range is $100 to $200. How do you plead?
Guilty.
On your guilty plea, y'all have the right car seats?
Yeah, well, at the time, it was a girl that I was giving a ride, so she
So
didn't,
it's not, okay.
yeah, it's not a child of mine, so
Not
it's,
somebody you usually carry. Just realize it's not a favor to carry somebody's children if you don't have the right car seats.
yes,
And your
ma'am.
time served on that, so you owe 283 plus 19. All you owe on these is 302. Is there any reason you can't come see me tomorrow at 2?
I can bring all of it tomorrow.
Well, if you can't, I'm not asking you to pay it. I'm just asking you to come and talk to me about how to pay it. If you can pay the 302 tomorrow, you can come at 8 o'clock and pay it, and you don't have to see a judge if you can pay it. But if you can't pay it, you come see me tomorrow at my courthouse at 2 to talk about how to pay it.
Yeah, yes, and this is downtown, right?
Yeah, on the 4th Street side of the police department.
Okay,
Okay, do you have any questions?
no, ma'am.
All right, I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
Hector Sanchez? Hi, Mr. Sanchez.
No.
Although English?
Yes.
Okay, so the charges from July 16th, 2020, it's called running a red light. The fine range is $1 to $200. I looked at the history on your case and you had hired an attorney to represent you and then he withdrew. And so when you missed your trial date, then it was at warrant. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So now you're representing yourself. The charge is called running a red light from July 16th, 2022. Do you want to hire an attorney or have a trial?
Have a trial. I had a brain memory loss accident. I do not remember anything.
When was your accident?
In February of 2023, I had a motorcycle wreck and put me in a coma. So I'm glad to be alive. I woke up out of the coma at the end of April.
Well, that's a quandary, isn't it?
Yes,
Here's your choice. You had a charge back from 2020 for which you hired an attorney. Do you have any memory of that?
I really don't, honestly. I could bring paperwork from the doctors. They declared it brain memory loss with traumatic brain injury, and they're supposed to put me on disability, and I'm still going through paperwork for that.
And so you've got all these really while you're in jail. I mean, you're in jail because of my warrant, but you were also in jail for possession, a felony possession.
Yeah,
Here's your choice to plead not guilty, and when you get out of jail, you'll bond out on my case, and you've got to come see me to look at the ticket to see if that's your signature, to help jog your memory about whether or not that's you. Or you can choose to plead guilty or no contest. You're actually been there long enough to be time served.
What does that mean?
If you plead guilty or no contest, you're saying that you were guilty of running a red light on July 16th, 2020. I would find you guilty, but because you've been in jail long enough, your time served. Then you wouldn't have to worry about coming to see me.
What that means, I get to go home, time served, or what?
Well, you still have a different judge to see regarding a higher charge. Because you got picked up on a felony warrant.
I mean, like I said, I really have no recollection of it.
So it's your choice, not guilty, bond out, but you've got to come see me on your date and time of your bond, or to plead guilty or no contest and be time served where you don't have to come and see me.
Guilty, I guess.
Okay, if you change your mind, come and see me within 10 days. That's January 19th. Your time served on this traffic ticket. You have any questions?
I mean, is there anything else I need to know about?
You're going to see a different judge if you haven't already to set a bond on the charge that actually took you there. That's a possession of a controlled substance. You're going to see a different judge about your higher charge.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank y'all.
Hey, Judge.
See ya. See you tomorrow.